Good Sunday morning, everyone. Giving you a live look out over Horsetooth Reservoir. Looking beautiful as usual. We've got this really gorgeous, pleasant Sunday morning right now before we heat right back up, inching closer to the 90s again. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Anusha Roy. We want to head right over to Keeley because after today, Keeley, you start to see the temperature slowly just start to drop off.
Yeah, slowly. We're going to stay in the 80s for several days. But yes, like you said, once again, this afternoon, we're going to make it up into the mid to upper 80s across the urban corridor. It is a gorgeous start to the day. In the mountains, we've got sunshine. Here's a live look. I-70, the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnel. Traffic smooth on those dry roads. Current temperatures, we're at 62 out at DIA, 56 in Greeley, 57 in Fort Collins, 30s and 40s in the mountains. 87 degrees. Your forecast high for the Denver metro area today. Our normal high for this time of the year, 80 degrees, so we are well above that once again. Starting the day off with sunshine, clouds increase as we head into the afternoon with the chance for some showers and isolated storms. Windy conditions, breezy conditions, I should say, across the plains. Those winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Forecast highs across the plains, 80s and 90s. 70s for the most part in the mountains. And for the Broncos home opener, we are looking warm. Temperatures staying in the 80s, 87 degrees at kickoff, staying in the 80s through the fourth quarter. And again, about a 20% chance we'll see some brief showers or thunderstorms rolling through. Getting some precipitation moving in from the southwest. And that's what we're going to see here at the lower elevations today. So upper 80s, tops our weather headlines, thunderstorms in the forecast. And how about a cool down, a significant cool down in our extended forecast? We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit.
All right, we got our attention with that. Thank you, Keeley. Investigators with the Eagle County Sheriff's Office says that there is a glimmer of hope after finding personal items that they think may belong to a missing woman, Michelle Vanek. She went missing nearly 19 years ago when she was 35 years old. Vanek disappeared after going for a hike up Mount of the Holy Cross. Her disappearance sparked large-scale search efforts over 8 days, and then that continued on and off for the last 19 years. Now investigators say they have found personal items that closely resembled those last known to have been with Vanek. A year ago, officials had found a boot that they considered one of the first clues that they discovered as to what happened to her. Officials wouldn't say what these latest personal items are or the exact location where they found them. In a press release this weekend, the Eagle County Sheriff's Office said, quote, "As the investigation continues, we are asking for compassion, patience, and privacy for the family as they are navigating this next chapter. This isn't just the discovery of remains. This is the potential step towards healing and closure for a family that has waited almost 19 years. We have more about this on 9news.com. A community on the Eastern Plains spent their Saturday afternoon remembering a well-known pilot. Kyle Scott from Fort Morgan was killed in a plane crash while spraying crops in Morgan County last Thursday. To honor him, friends and family hosted a celebration of life at the Fort Morgan Municipal Airport, where nearly 700 seats were filled to remember Kyle. His wife also talked about his life and how much his work meant to him.
Flying made him feel like a bird. He was free from any worldly desires, and he felt so good to do service for others. His airplane was an extension of his soul and his work here on this physical earth.
Friends say Kyle didn't just fly for work and fun. He also used his airplane to help others. That includes helping the sheriff's office with wildfires and other missions. Investigators are still looking into what happened when Kyle's airplane crashed. It was also a somber weekend in Arvada as family, friends, and colleagues said goodbye to a firefighter killed in a crash last month. A procession for 34-year-old Kyle Trombley was held Saturday morning, and then a memorial service happened in the afternoon. People were lining the sidewalks along the route to pay their respects to Trombley. He died on August 25th while off duty. He was an Arvada firefighter for 13 years. Developing now, the Adams County Jail is deteriorating and current maintenance is costing the county millions of dollars every year. According to the sheriff, he says that they're dealing with things like mold, water, contamination, and sewer infrastructure issues. We've been tracking this story since July. 9 News reporter Brianna Clark is joining us now. And Brianna, the sheriff is saying that what they need is a new jail in a different location to fix all these problems.
Yeah, and just a few months ago, the county was actually talking about possibly increasing property taxes to help pay for a new jail. They were even going to put it on the ballot this year, but they decided not to. Instead, the county is using this time to help educate the voters on what is going on with the 40-year-old structure. Take a look at these photos we just got our hands on. They came from a 2023 structural analysis report by RD3 Incorporated. Inspectors say they found abandoned wastewater lines under the Adams County Jail, along with blocked vents and damage from past plumbing leaks. And in some crawl spaces, mold and corrosion. These are all health and safety concerns for both the inmates and the people who work here.
The only direction that we can go here is to continue to go downhill. Regardless of how much patching or how many Band-Aids we put on this problem, it's not going to correct it until something actually gets done.
Adams County commissioners tell me they are aware of what's happening and are exploring their options while fixing a few things in the process. The question about building a new jail could come up again in 2026, but Sheriff Claps is worried they'll just be throwing away money until then. Tomorrow morning, we will take you inside the jail. We've got an exclusive look. We'll show you what our cameras captured and what the sheriff is saying about a decaying floor in the jail's kitchen. Live in the newsroom, Brianna Clark, 9 News.
Thanks so much for all the work on this, Brianna. We appreciate it. We are getting a clearer look today at how last week's debates may be reshaping the race, with some new polls showing a bounce for Vice President Kamala Harris and the renewed chance of a rematch between the VP and former President Donald Trump. 3 post-debate polls show Trump trailing Harris by about 5 points, a slight boost for Harris from before the debate. Trump spent part of his Saturday visiting police in the battleground state of Nevada, where he thanked the Las Vegas Police Protective Association for endorsing him. He also took a moment to answer questions where he attacked Harris over the southern border, while Harris spent her Saturday sitting down for her first solo interview since becoming the Democratic nominee and distancing herself from President Biden.
Nobody can believe how bad they've done at the border, running our country.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, you know, I offer a new generation of leadership.
After saying he wasn't interested, now Trump is cracking the door open to accepting Harris's call for another debate matchup, saying he might if he was in the right mood.